vine that soon the thorn, and drooping root like in the corn, the poppies weep the dew. Above me in their 100 schools, the magpies bend their young to ruse, and like an apron full of dews, the dewy cobweb swings. And frisking in the stream below, the troutlets make the circles flow, and the hungry crane don't watch them.
All that first brought me into that cottage to introduce me to the late Joe Ledwidge, the poet's brother. And Philip was down at the time doing a script for Radio Erin about Ledwidge. And well, I walked up and down the Boyne Valley a great deal, and Seamus Murphy, also alas dead, the sculptor, did the plaque, you know, down at the bridge. A very dear friend of mine too. And one had read Ledwidge from an early age, and he got so perfectly the feeling of the lovely landscape along the Boyne Valley. And it was a wonderful thing then to hear that a committee had been founded. It was they put up the plaque, of course, and that they were going to restore the cottage and turn it into a Ledwidge museum. It so happened that I knew some people who were associated with it. They were all there today, and they asked me to come down, do a tape recording, and they asked me to be there today, by which I was greatly honoured that they did so, to cut the tape on the door for the Francis Ledwidge Museum. I think it's a wonderful thing that a poet like that should be so honoured in his own place. And I don't think, you know, his name was ever forgotten in the Boyne Valley, nor was he, I think, forgotten by Irish writers. He was a very good poet. He didn't write an enormous amount, but he was a quite fine poet. And of course it was the late Lord Dunsany, the father of the present Lord, who discovered and noticed his poetic talent, as indeed that Lord Dunsany had done with other writers, including Mary Lavin, who were also writers of this area of the Boyne Valley. Mary, as you know, came around Bective Bridge in that area. So that's my connection with this, I think, quite wonderful occasion today, which went off most marvellously and which ended up in this great castle on the banks of this lane. Yes. Yeah. Would that do you?
Yes, thank you very much now.
hear the bitter cry in the wild sky where he is lain, nor voices of the sweeter birds above the wailing of the rain. Nor shall he know when loud March blows through slanting snows her fanfare shrill, blowing to flame the golden cup of many an upset daffodil. But when the dark cow leaves the moor and pastures poor with greedy weeds, perhaps he'll hear her low at morn, lifting her horn in pleasant meads.
The next recital is Mark Hand, and he recites the Dead Kings. Mark Hand.
The Dead Kings. All the dead kings came to me at Rosnaree where I was dreaming. A few stars glimmered through the morn, and down the thorn the dews were streaming. And every dead king had a story of ancient glory sweetly told. It was too early for the lark, but the starry dark had tints of gold. And one said, "A loud tramp of men we'll hear again at Rosnaree." A bomb burst near me where I lay. I woke. 'Twas day in Picardy.
Thanks very much. Now we have Neil Borden, and she recites The Shadow of the People. Where is that?
The Shadow People. Old Lame Bridget doesn't hear fairy music in the grass, when the gloaming's on the mere and the shadow people pass. Never hears their slow grey feet coming from the village street, just beyond the parson's wall where the clover globes are sweet, and the mushroom's parasol opens in the moonlit rain. Every night I hear them call from their long and merry train. Old Lame Bridget says to me, "It's just your fancy, child." She cannot believe I see laughing faces in the wild, hands that twinkle in the sedge, bowing at the water's edge, where the finny minnows quiver, shaping on a blue wave's ledge bubble foam to sail the river. And the sunny hands to me beckon ever, beckon ever. Oh, I would be wild and free, and with the shadow people be.
The poet Francis Ledwidge. He came for the official opening of the cottage today here in Slane. What did you think of it?
Oh, I was very impressed indeed with everything that was done here this afternoon. I think the organisation was marvellous. They did a wonderful job on the restoration of the cottage. I think it couldn't have been done any better. The Slane Community Committee deserve every congratulations. And I'm very, very proud indeed to be here and to be part of this little celebration here this afternoon.
Thank you very much. The council. We had the opening of Francis Ledwidge Cottage today. How do you think the opening went? Did it go satisfactory?
Yes, Nuala, I think it was a fantastic day. We had a very, very large crowd of distinguished people that came from all over the country. We had poets, writers, and we had a lot of all the politicians in the county was there, and the weather was very good, and I was very, very pleased with the children, the 5 children who recited the Francis Ledwidge poets, or the poetry. And in all, it was very, very, very successful, and very gratitude for us as went into that project, and we spent a lot of money in it. It cost something in the region of £20,000.
I think you're on out of it.
Yeah, fine.